half of 2020. In many ways, the threat of COVID in assisted living facilities was just as serious as it was in nursing homes, but these facilities received little help and little attention. Now, before that, in 2018, I released the first ever national assessment of quality care issues in assisted living.
20 taxes. Several changes from 2019 tax returns could make you eligible for more stimulus money. If you had a baby in 2020, if you claimed another dependent in 2020, or if you made less in 2020 than 2019. And don't worry, you won't lose any stimulus money if you made more in 2020. But be ready to wait for your check. The IRS has until the end of the year to send plus-up payments.
If you don't get it by December 31st, then it will be on your next year's tax return.
Another reason for delay? If you didn't have the correct amount of stimulus money.
Low-income families can also get stimulus checks this year. The majority of taxpayers received their refunds in November, though some people are still waiting for money. The State Revenue Service said that those are eligible who have not received the checks yet should just wait by December 29th to receive the stimulus, if you haven't gotten one already. And it still needs to clear several steps before it becomes law. Last week, the mayor said that he'd revealed the details of the plan to send monthly checks from Missouri to low-income families. The plan calls for using $5 million in federal crisis aid to send $500 to families for 18 months. Now, around 3 million Massachusetts residents are set to receive tax rebates worth around 14% of what they paid in state income taxes. Folks, get ready for stimulus, it's here. I finally have some good news about the fourth stimulus check, and this time it is the truth. There is a ton of information that I want you guys to know about the fourth stimulus payment. A ton of news that you have to cover. The rebates will be sent directly to taxpayers' bank accounts through direct deposit. Otherwise, the rebate will be sent as a check in the mail for those who do not have direct deposit set up. The total received for the rebates is a set of fractions of one paid income tax, meaning higher earners will earn much more than that. A person who makes 35 grand will receive 200, while someone who makes $1 million would receive 7,000. There's plenty of time for people to file a tax return, as the deadline for this rebate is extended through September of next year. Prices rose less than expected, and the latest sign is that the runaway inflation has been gripping the economy even worse. The Labor Department reported again that the Consumer Price Index, which measures a wide basket of goods and services, rose just 0.1% from the previous month and increased 7.1% from a year ago. Economists had already been expecting a 0.3% monthly increase and a 7.3% 12% monthly rate. So the increase from a year ago, while above the Federal Reserve's target for a healthy inflation level, was tied for the lowest since November. It excludes volatile food and energy prices, and so-called the Core Consumer Price Index rose 0.2% and 6% on an annual basis. Joe Biden celebrated today the positive Consumer Price Index report. He said that it showed inflation is easing in the country ahead of the holiday season. Biden also said we had learned last month that the inflation rate has come down from what many experts expected, in a world where inflation is rising in double digits in many major economies around the world. The easing suggests that the Federal Reserve's interest rate increase could be working as intended, and the Fed may be able to change and achieve the soft landing it wants to achieve, and avoid a large-scale economic shutdown. The report is likely to be reassuring of the Fed and the central bank Jerome Powell when it comes to its meeting on Wednesday. The Fed is expected to only increase interest rates by half point, as opposed to the 3/4 points it has deployed throughout the year. The report marks the 5th month in a row where the rate of
benefits that they didn't claim originally. According to the IRS, 9 million Americans potentially have unclaimed money, and Sieber says with the 2021 tax year offering more benefits like increased child tax credits, you could have more money waiting for you.
You can still get those benefits. So if you have any reason to suspect that you didn't get all your credits or all your stimulus monies, go see a tax pro.
So we can verify no, just because the IRS is ending their free file program for 2021 doesn't mean you can't still get unclaimed benefits from that year. Sieber says you can amend your return on your own.
So some people may not qualify for any more monthly benefits. After changes have been made, the lawmakers say that millions of people on SNAP will continue to receive extra relief cash throughout the year. The benefit amount may decrease again this year, but so far, President Biden is still working on a fourth stimulus package. So there has been some breaking news on SNAP benefits. The recipients will receive another sizable payment in December. It includes a 12.5% cost of living approved for the fiscal year of next year. The 2022 COLA already kicked in October 1st. It will run again through September, which will help SNAP recipients offset rising food costs. But experts are warning about how the COLA may cut monthly SNAP benefits for our people. There were significant changes that made to SNAP benefits this year. In September, the governor already announced an expansion to the state SNAP program. And according to the Department of Human Services, the change meant an additional 420,000 Pennsylvanians are eligible for food stamps. Pennsylvania increased the income threshold for applicants to 200% of the federal poverty income guidelines. But due to the cost of living adjustment, some Louisiana households may see a decrease in SNAP and other benefits, according to the Louisiana Department of Children and Services. This has so far affected millions of people under the Family Independence Temporary Assistance Program and SNAP program as well. State officials have said that these benefits will decrease in January. The cost of living is already increasing every single day. But now, once again, food inflation is outpacing overall inflation. What this means, though, is that SNAP recipients in the state of New York will once again receive more than $100 in their monthly benefits. SNAP has been crucial for many people in New York, and households that are currently at or near the maximum benefit level, which is about $1,000 for a household of 4, will receive SSI payments of at least $100. Benefits will post between December 12th and December 31st. An estimated $234 million in federal funding will be infused into New York's economy as a result of additional benefits. Since January, the program has contributed more than $2 billion into the state's economy, playing a critical role in the state's economic recovery in the wake of the crisis. According to a recent federal survey, SNAP generates up to $1.54 in economic activity for every dollar invested in the program. So, as food prices affected the number of factors, including extreme weather and supply chain complications, it makes it more difficult for the U.S. government to use tactics like raising the rates to moderate food prices. A number of party and refrigerator staples continued to get more expensive last month. The latest data even shows this. Eggs were a staggering 49% more expensive through November, and butter prices also increased by 27%. Overall, grocery and menu prices in November and December continue to go up half a percentage point every single month. So we're only left with one option now. It's for President Biden to do something about this and sending out stimulus payments. Because there is exciting news, the lawmakers have already unveiled a new bill. The bill will fund new programs. They aim to provide more relief to the low income across the country. Support for recurring stimulus is continuing to grow, and as we are seeing more relief being approved around for Americans, Idaho state lawmakers recently approved a program that sent $300 to individuals and $600 to joint filers in order to spend down the state's record budget surplus. Elevate Idaho Families Coalition is now considering proposing a tax rebate program in the upcoming legislative session. People have until the end of the year to claim the tax rebate. Over the past few years, families were also supported by federal programs like stimulus and the expanded child tax credit, which reduced child poverty to a record low rate nationwide. Officials have said that these positive impacts could be modeled again on the state level. The governors of Virginia has already released a proposal